All right, people, there's nothing more classic when it comes to appetizers than meatballs. You can get them at baby showers, funerals, game day, NFL Sunday, you name it. Meatballs are usually on the menu. Today, I'm gonna show you an old school version with a new twist and an extra credit recipe at the end. Meet me in the kitchen, let's make it happen. All right, people, we got an old school recipe with a new school twist, some flavor enhancements, some secret ingredients, all that good stuff. You guys probably didn't have it like this downstairs after church. We're gonna go ahead and grate our onion. I like to do it this way. That way the onion just dissolves into the meatballs. You don't have big old chunks of onion. So this technique right here works well for soups, stews, basically anything where you want the vegetable to dissolve. I use this technique with my she crab soup. Grate the onion and celery. You can also just puree it if you have a good blender or immersion blender, something like that. But the cheese grater works really well, and most people have one of these, so that's what we're using today. Little pro tip for you right out the gate. All right, guys, for these meatballs, we're using a combination half and half split of ground beef and ground pork. Obviously, if you don't eat pork, you can just use all ground beef. This recipe works great with turkey or chicken as well. I'm gonna first mix the beef and the pork together. The pork's gonna add some extra flavor here. This is a really good blend for meatballs, in my opinion. I really enjoy this. If you're super into like Italian cuisine, you could even add veal here. That's very common or popular in Italian style meatballs. This recipe is kind of more like a hybrid version. This meatball recipe is actually really good with marinara or spaghetti and meatballs or whatever. But today we're making more like what the kids call baby shower meatballs on the internet. That's more of like the traditional version that we're doing today. So we're gonna give that a good mix. Then I'm gonna start to incorporate my other ingredients. We have a few things that are gonna make this nice and juicy and tender. We're gonna add sour cream. We're gonna add some boars and garlic and herb cheese, which is a secret ingredient for me. It makes these meatballs absolutely amazing. So one of the key takeaways here is that you should be making your meatballs at home from scratch. And that's because you don't half the time have no idea what's in those frozen meatballs that you get from the grocery store. A lot of additives and things like that. Not the best quality meat either. So you're making them at home, it's super easy. These freeze really well too. And they're gonna be a lot better, hell of a lot better. So we got a tablespoon or two of garlic going in, a couple tablespoons of fresh chopped parsley, 5.2 ounces of boars and garlic and herb cheese that we're gonna give a good mix to, about a quarter cup of sour cream, some Parmesan, the seasoning of your choice, and then we're gonna mix it together, add the breadcrumbs and the eggs. All right, guys, so when you're working a meatball mixture, you want to fold in all of the ingredients and add just enough breadcrumbs to hold everything together. It's going to end up being about a cup and a half or so. The important thing to look for is that the structure of it, right? So when you're folding it, it should basically form into one large meatball, hold together, like a little structural integrity. That's what you're looking for. After that, you're going to roll the meatballs into whatever size you like. Again, I like, for something like this, we're talking 1.5 ounces max. You can go a little smaller if you want. You can use an ice cream scooper. The key with that is coat the ice cream scooper in some oil. That way the meat doesn't stick to it. But this is about the size that we're looking for the purposes of this particular recipe. Finish that process until all your meatballs are ready to go, and then we're going to sear them in a skillet, get some good crust, pop them in the oven, and then finish them in a delicious sauce that you're about to see. Make sure you guys stick around so you see the next recipe I'm going to show you guys what you can do with the leftovers or just to make a delicious meatball sub at the end of this. Quick reminder, guys, all the specific measurements and ingredients for this recipe and every recipe on the channel can be found at MrMakeItHappen.com. Next up, it's time to develop a crust. So we're gonna get a nice skillet warm with some oil, a little avocado oil, nice, beautiful skillet. If you're in the market for a new skillet, you can grab this at MrMakeItHappen.com as well. Go ahead and get these meatballs seared up. Pop them in the oven to start the cooking process while we start on our sauce, and then finish the meatballs in that sauce, the way the good Lord intended. Let me know in the comments your favorite way to eat meatballs. If you like to throw grape jelly in there like the old school way, a little barbecue sauce and grape jelly right in the crock pot. Those frozen meatballs, we didn't know how bad they sucked at the time, but if you know something now, this is the recipe you need to be making. Next up, my friends, it's time to make the sauce. Now, back in the day, this was just your favorite barbecue sauce, some grape jelly, And way back in the day, you used to throw a little cocktail sauce in there. It adds a little tang, a little bite to offset the sweetness that you get from the barbecue sauce and the grape jelly. We're gonna keep it pretty traditional with that. Now we're gonna use my barbecue sauce, Mr. Make It Happen. You can grab this if you want to, or just use whatever your favorite barbecue sauce is. Probably not better than this one, but it's out there. You can get it from the grocery store and give it a try. I'm gonna add this, about 1.5 cups, and I'm going in with roughly a cup of grape jelly as well. And then just like a tablespoon or 2 of cocktail sauce, depending on how much bite you want to add to the party. I'm gonna just finish this off. I don't need to be making no midnight peanut butter and jellies this week anyway. So in goes the jelly, in goes the barbecue sauce. We're gonna mix that together and then add the cocktail sauce. After about 15 minutes in the oven at 400 degrees, the meatballs are just about done, around 160 degrees internal temperature. You finish them in the sauce for 5 or 6 minutes, get them up to 165, 170, caramelized, glazed beautifully. Little extra sauce, because why the hell not? Now it's time to get in here for the taste test. Before we do that though, please take a quick second to subscribe to the channel. Make sure you hit that bell to enable notifications as well. It's not much better in the world. There's not many things better in the world than some homemade meatballs. Very juicy. Probably want to get close up of that. These are incredible. You gotta make this recipe for your next get together, or if you just want to be a big back and eat these on the couch by yourself, I wouldn't be mad at you. Next, I'm gonna show you what to do with the leftovers. If you have a big party, make a bunch of these, you got some left over. My favorite thing to make the next day is this meatball sub. All right, people, so for the purposes of this barbecue meatball sub, I like to add fried shallots to mine. It adds a nice crunch, texture, and fried shallots are delicious. If you're feeling a little lazy the next day, you don't feel like doing any extra work, you can get some fried onions that you can buy, like the French's fried onions. Same thing applies, not homemade, but they're pretty good, delicious. You made the meatballs the other day homemade, so give yourself a little credit. Take a break and use that. But if you're an overachiever, you can use this fried shallot recipe. Real simple. We're gonna do that. A little pepper jack cheese. I like the little bit of spice that it provides, offset a little bit of the sweetness from the meatballs. Again, if you want to use your favorite item in that cheese category, then go for it. You use mozzarella, cheddar, whatever you got. For me today, it's gonna be pepper jack, good loaf of bread, fried shallots, barbecue meatballs, delicious lunch. Everybody will love it. All right, guys, if that don't get you going, you need to check for a post. This looks good. Yep. New favorite sandwich right here.
My favorite thing about it is that it got so much meat on it. Here we go.